Yo, what's up? Going live. We'll get started here in just a second. Give everybody, per the usual, enough time to filter in to come hear about how you can begin using Google Analytics effectively. And truth be told, there's a lot of ways and a lot of things that you can use Google Analytics for. And we're not going to focus on all the stuff. I'm just going to show you a few things that really makes it worth it for you. Is that okay? I keep it simple. Simplify a little bit, just give you a few things that will enable you to sort of take control of your Google Analytics so you can begin making sense of it and apply it effectively to make your site better and hopefully make you rank on Google better. So as you're joining in here, let me know, does audio sound good? Video look good? We just want to make sure we get a sound check. Let's have a listen to it. Yeah, it sounds pretty good to me. So I think we're working good, but you guys go in the comments. Let me know who's watching. Want to see who's joining us and where you're watching from. Okay, so hit me up in the chat box. What's up, Jessica? Good to see you here. Welcome. Love it. Yeah, and Jessica says sounds and looks good. Awesome. Appreciate that, Jessica. Yeah, if you're joining in here, there's my thumbs up. You get my thumbs up emoji. If you're joining in here again, let me know where you're watching from and why you decided to join. Like, what are you interested in? I mean, maybe you've used Google Analytics and you're kind of like, I don't really know what's going on. I'm confused by it. Or maybe you haven't used it at all. And maybe you don't even know what Google Analytics actually is. And so all are welcome, no matter where you're at in that process. You're welcome here. I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible for you while still going pretty in depth. And the way that we're going to be able to do this is because I'm keeping it simple and just going over the most effective things for you to look at. Even though this is simple, it's actually really effective as well. So again, whether you're brand new to Google Analytics or whether you've had it for a while and you got lots of data, either way, you're in a good place. What's up, Bruce? Good to have you here. Awesome. Okay, so we're going to start diving in. And I'm going to try to go pretty slow because if you don't have Google Analytics, I'm not going to lie, you probably just need to go get Google Analytics. So if you're in that place where you're like, look, Jeff, I don't even have it. I don't know what I'm looking at. Then yeah, you probably should go get it. But for everybody else, if you've at least got Google Analytics and it's working, then we're going to be able to look at some cool stuff here. And I'll show you how some of my high-paying Dream Clients members are utilizing Google Analytics. Utilizing in a way that enables them to craft the user experience on their website so that they can max out conversions. And this is something that I've done over the past, I don't know how many years, I'd say at least like 4 years. And the cool thing is I've been able to look at a lot of websites and figure out which websites convert the best and which pathways, like when people do 1, 2, 3, they convert at the highest level and they turn into inquiries most often. So I'm going to give you some really useful like stuff that you can begin doing now in order to drive up your conversions and inquiries. So if you're excited about that, let me know in the comments and then hit that like button. Doesn't hurt you, only helps you. Make sure that Facebook shows you more of this content and it's good for the group and all that good stuff. So send that signal. What's up, Ed? Good to have you here. Sylvia Lara, or Lara. I don't know which it is because, you know, I just see Lara, but welcome either way. Good to have you joining us here. So I'm going to need you guys' help with something, though. So if it's okay, can I get y'all's commitment to help me with something? Last time I screen shared in a certain way, it made the audio repeat. And that was really annoying. And so what I'm going to do this time is I'm going to test it real quick and make sure that it's fixed so that hopefully it doesn't do this weird repeating thing. And as long as it doesn't, then we're good to go. If it does do that repeating thing, I need you guys to go into the comments and be like, Jeff, it's doing the weird repeating thing. And then I can fix it. But it just started randomly doing it. I think we fixed it. But just to be sure, can you guys commit to me to let me know if it starts doing a weird audio loop thing and you start hearing echoes? Is that cool? Y'all can help me out with that a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and screen share, and then again, you let me know, and I'm gonna share it briefly so it doesn't like get into a crazy loop mode and then we're like stuck in it for several seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and screen share, weird loop feedback stuff. Okay, so at this point, I'm screen sharing. What's up, Amanda? Glad that you could join us. And you should be hearing the weird audio loop. I don't think we're hearing it. No weird audio loop, right? Y'all let me know in the comments. Let me know if you hear it or if you don't. Ed says no repeat. Love it. Okay, awesome. That's what I want to hear. All right, so let's go ahead and continue then. So I'm inside of Google Analytics. This is GA4. So if you haven't been in Google Analytics in a long time, maybe you've looked at it. You used to have like Universal Analytics, so UA. That's pretty much no more. So we're going to be in GA4, and that's great. It's all good because I like GA4 now. They updated it. They did some cool stuff. And one of those cool things that I actually love is this path exploration. So when you're inside of here, you can come over to Explore and click on that. And the one at the far right is going to be path exploration. It's really cool. And what we've done here is we've actually gone in and we've set it up so that we're looking, starting at an ending point, which we've set to, excuse me, I'm about to sneeze. I'm trying not to. All right, I think I'm good. We've set it for the thank you page, which is something that someone hits only when they've inquired. So we know when they've hit the thank you page that this person has submitted an inquiry. And then what we're able to do is sort of reverse engineer where they're getting those inquiries from. And this gives us insight into, well, okay, well, which pathways are most valuable to this person. And so we're able to start just clicking down through the path and see where they are coming in from. So for example, we see that 4 of the 7 inquiries looks like, I'm trying to see this one. This one's, yeah, so I think we've got technically one that came in from there. It's a little bit weird because it doesn't actually give us the contact thing. So that one's a little bit weird. But we've got the 7, 4, 2, 3, 4 and 3 equals 7. So we know that this pathway is really hot. And we just keep clicking. So we know they obviously went to contact page. Before that, when they went to about. Before that, they went to experience, this engagement photo blog post, ultimate guide to photo shoot locations, more engagement photos, and ultimate guide. So we know that these 4 inquiries actually came from that particular pathway. And so you doing this on your site will help you understand which pathways that people are taking, number 1, that end up in the contact form. But number 2, it just helps you figure out, well, you know, maybe I don't even have the pages that I need. And you need to create different types of pages, because I'll tell you, for example, people that go through experience and about page and then contact are going to be way more indoctrinated in a good way to your brand. So you want that. What's up, Nadia? Good to see you here. Dustin, my man, good to have you here as well. So yeah, so that's one of the big things we're checking out. It's just like, okay, let's use path exploration to figure out which pathways are the most successful. And of course, you can adjust this to different time frames, right? I mean, you can adjust it to whatever you want to. If I want to say, you know, let's look at the whole quarter here. And of course, if you don't have that much date, that much range, it's not going to show it to you. So like this one doesn't even want to do the quarter range. But you can experiment with that. Should you look at 7 days or 30 or 20? It really just depends on what you're trying to do. You know, if you've done some changes and you're trying to figure out more on the fly, like, okay, where are things coming from most recently? Then it's better to do a shorter day or a shorter range in the day range typically. Okay, so that's one big thing when it comes to Google Analytics, is using this path exploration so that you can figure out where are people going and how are they getting to where we want them to go to. So that's a pretty cool thing. Highly recommend checking that out. And by the way, if you have any questions about that, let me know, but I'm going to go ahead and switch over to showing you some other stuff. What's up, Jake? Good to see you joining us here. So next thing we're going to go over to is reports. Reports has a couple things in it that we like to look at. A lot of people want to pay attention to this stuff. I really don't. I don't want to pay attention to this. You should not really be paying attention to this. Instead, I like to go more granular, because this is really the overall website, and we want to look deeper. Now, there's some cool stuff here. Like, here's some insights. You know, for the site, Google Organic drove the most conversions. Yay! Surprise, surprise. Insight, organic search appeared in 84.62% of your conversion paths. Yay. What is that saying? Well, that's saying, basically organic search is the number one source of inquiries here, number one source of conversions. And, there's no surprise to that because the site is ranking all over Google, right? So it's cool to see some of this stuff. And I'm not against you, perusing this and familiarizing yourself with this, but this doesn't necessarily help us to make changes to our site. It just, is interesting info that can excite our jimmies. Okay, so this is fun, and it can help you. Don't get me wrong, but we really want to go more granular on the actual engagement on your site. So one of the first places we can go here is landing page. Landing page is going to give us some key metrics about particular engagement on any given page or site. So, for example, and really the one that I tend to focus on is homepage. Now, if you got a good blog post, like here we got some good blog posts, it's worth looking at those, but engagement on blog posts can vary quite a bit and tends to be less than a website. And so like in this instance, one of the things I'm seeing is I'm looking at this 27 seconds average engagement time per session. That's pretty low for a homepage. And so one of the things that we could do to improve conversions on this particular page is improve that average engagement time per session. Now, that being said, it's kind of cool because you can see the conversion events here, right? So you can see there's been 7, and there are some things that you need to set up in order for conversion events to be defined. So we're not going to go that deep into it today because, there's a little bit more complication there, and I don't want to wade too deep. What's up, Jordan? Good to see you joining us here. So again, these are good metrics to look at, especially this average engagement time per session. The reason why this is a really good metric to look at is because it indicates how well your page is engaging someone. And so for a homepage, usually like to see closer to the 50-second mark. So again, if I was working specifically here on this website on this particular metric, I'd be going, I need to figure out what's going on my homepage, which is this / page, in order to diagnose why the engagement time is only 27 seconds and then problem solve from there. And there's ways that you can do that, and we don't have time to get into all that right now, but just kind of note average engagement time per session is important, very important. Another thing that's good to look at is your events. So we're going to go there and take a look. You'll see that you got all these different events and metrics. A good one to look at here is just the overall and figure out, okay, for any given user, what's your average event count? I'd like to see at least in the 5 range, but this is one of those metrics, the higher the better. So when we're crafting a website, we want people to engage and click and do stuff in a way that sends signals to Google that, okay, this website is highly satisfying to them. And the more events, the better. So if they're viewing pages, that's an event. If they engage in some way with the page, this can include things like even highlighting something. Okay, starting a session, first visit. So this is like new users. So if they're a brand new person that's never been to the site before, it's going to trigger that. If they're clicking, that's an event. Scrolling, if they start a form. So like if they start filling out the inquiry form, they register for something, they submit a form, view search results. All these things matter. And so, again, as we are living in that reality of wanting our website to be highly engaging, we want to max out how much people engage. And if you don't know where you're at, it's hard to work on it, right? So using Google Analytics for these purposes is really, really useful. And as you've seen, I haven't went through every single thing here and explained every single thing. I showed you some of these reports, landing page, events. I've showed you Explore, okay? And Explore, this is what I was talking about. You got some different ones, but I really like this path exploration. And you can play around and you can set it up different ways and with different goals. And you've got all sorts of ways that you can use it. You can even go in here and let's see. So you can go in. Let's say we want to adjust this. Let's say we want to sort it to page title and screen name. So now it's going to show us session start, but where did they start at? So like from this Dallas wedding photographer page, if we were curious, like, well, where are people going? Because we've identified, some valuable places for them to go by doing the reverse path. But now it's like, okay, well, what is everybody else doing that isn't inquiring? And we start to figure out, well, what's the most important, most traveled path and which one isn't? And that enables us to have data on, well, what should we do then maybe to change what people are doing? We can make adjustments in strategic locations, right? So I can just click around, figure out where are people going? What are they doing? What are they doing that's not ending up in inquiries, for example? And that gives us a lot of insight into the website so that we can start making data-driven, calculated changes only where we need to. So imagine no longer having to figure out, or rather, I shouldn't say figuring out. Imagine no longer just making random changes to your site, but instead making data-driven changes in order to make people go, not make them like you're forcing them, but to influence people to go down the best path that results in the highest amount of conversions. And that's what these tools here inside of Google Analytics enable us to do. So guys, let me know if you found this interesting. We're going to keep it fairly short and sweet. What's up, Arlene? Good to see you. Ed asks, does it record if people fill in an embedded form from a CRM or just the inbuilt forms on, say, Squarespace? Yeah, that's a good question, Ed. It is going to track anything, including it should be embedded things as well. So if you have an embedded form, Google Analytics is still able to pick that up. So you should still be seeing that. So good question. If we have any other questions, guys, I'll stick around for like another couple minutes and answer those questions. If not, that's totally cool too. You've gotten a little bit of a walkthrough of how to use Google Analytics. And again, just the most important stuff. There's all kinds of other stuff you could do with Google Analytics. But honestly, I've ranked a lot of websites and I've almost exclusively used the stuff that I just showed you today. Now, yes, there's other tools, so I'm not saying you only use Google Analytics. You'll use Google Search Console, and you'll use your keyword research tool, and you'll use other tools. But I'm saying when it comes specifically to Google Analytics, what was it? It was like 3 things we looked at. We looked at the reports, the path exploration. We looked at events, which is underneath that reporting area. And then we looked at, engagement area. And then we looked at landing pages. So it's like 3 things. 3 things. That's it. So again, it's a very powerful tool and you don't have to get overwhelmed using it. You just have to stick to the simple stuff. And I've found when we keep it simple, that's really the most effective for your SEO. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this. We do these live streams every week, typically on Tuesdays, generally around this time. Sometimes we do them earlier. So add it to your schedule. Love to see more of you guys, give you more tips, and be active in the group. Want to challenge you that if you're going to work on your SEO, now's the time to do it. And I hear tons of excuses from people why they have to work on their SEO later. This is going to be your downtime for most of us anyhow, right? During these sort of holiday months, this is really a time for you to dig into your business and start working on things like your SEO. And I hear a lot of people go, well, I'm doing a rebrand or I'm doing a redesign, and they give these reasons to wait on their SEO. But the truth is really, your SEO should inform your web design. Your SEO should inform your branding and your copywriting and your messaging. And so I get asked all the time, well, I just paid someone to redesign a new site. Maybe I should wait to do SEO. And I go, no, don't wait. You really should start thinking about all this stuff now. And really before you get to the place where you're thinking about redesigning your site. I have to tell people all the time, I coach them and I go, hey, don't just go redesign your site. You should not do that. You don't need to do that. It'd be better for you to get data and make data-driven changes, because I can't tell you how many times people have said, yeah, I paid somebody to do my site, and it converts and ranks worse on Google now that I've had a redesign. So what's the message here? The message is SEO really is foundational to just about everything you do, especially for the longevity of your business. It's going to affect how much your business can thrive in the long term, because Google can, like I just showed you with this one site, it can drive the majority of your inquiries, especially if you live in or near or work in a major city, or you work around several even smaller cities. It can be transformative for your business. And my experience is if somebody does SEO correctly, they can add anywhere from 20 all the way up to 100,000 plus $1,000. Okay, 100,000 plus. Okay, not just 1,000, but 100,000 plus to their yearly revenue. And sometimes it's less for some, sometimes it's more for some. But SEO can have a really powerful effect. That's one of the reasons why I made the SEO calculator. And what I'll do actually, because this would be great for you guys to check out, I actually have a link to it. Let me see if I still have it up here. And I'll share that with you guys. It's just a link and it goes to the calculator. This is a formula that I discovered. I discovered this formula. It is based on real research, me spending years, blood, sweat, and tears, sort of extracting this formula from reality, so to speak. So working with real people. And if you use this calculator, it will enable you to be able to figure out how much ranking on Google can make you. So you can take your estimated traffic and you can actually discover, based on the amount of traffic and some other metrics, how much money ranking on Google can make you. And listen, I know it's not all about money, right? The money really, though, should help you live the life that you believe you're called to live. Because when your business fuels your life vision, then you come to your business with vigor and you serve your clients better. And so one of the things I'm passionate about, not because it's just money, but because, again, if you say, this is the life that I'm called to, this is what life should look like, and this is how much my life vision costs, and you're future oriented that way, then you go, I need to build a business that's like this. And then you can find the ways to, in a calculated way, build a business that you don't feel like, you're scraping by trying to get inquiries for, but you've actually calculated and come up with a strategy to hit the numbers that you need to hit. And it removes the emotion from that whole experience. So instead of, living in that place where you feel like, am I going to get inquiries? Am I going to get enough bookings? It's just a math formula. And so you can approach it with this mindset of like, if I do input A, then I'm with high likelihood going to get output B. So the calculator is just designed to help you do that. So check that out. I put it in the links. With that being said, y'all, I'm going to shut it down for today. Thanks for being here, and I'll see you next time on Easy SEO Live. Bye for now, guys.